Federer won the toss. He elected to serve, and here we go. Men's semifinal number 1.
Ready, play. Fifteen love.
It's like watching two maestros.
Very sharp angle on that forehand, and right away you can see Roger Federer looking for open space on the court. Look at this. He has Djokovic to the backhand side and rips the short angle. Definitely one of the tactics early on that's been effective.
So Roger Federer rocks it in the first game. Very offensive.
First game.
And very decisive.
Now it's Djokovic's turn to come out with his tactic. What is he going to do? One of the things that he has done recently extremely well, have a big first serve in the 120 range with a nice solid second serve. No shot in his game is letting him down. Everything is clicking on all cylinders. That's why it's important for the opponent, Roger Federer, to really attack with different spins and paces rather than just trying to outsteady him. Try to throw off Djokovic's game, throw off his timing.
They both start the same way. Wow. Finally, a little bit of a rally, but so far the serve is king.
Serve really setting up everything, Al. As soon as you get that serve in, the return is just trying to put it back in play, and then the server really uses the second shot to take control of the point.
Djokovic. 1 game over, first set.
I think one of the things we have to look for is to see when Roger Federer starts bringing out his slice backhand. The slice backhand is a neutralizing shot, has a little underspin on it, so the ball will stay low and will not set up for Djokovic. Will not sit in his strike zone so Djokovic can drill a backhand to a corner.
15 long.
Watching these two, it's almost hard to imagine that someone is going to crack. But it's one thing we know. At some point, something's going to crack. Where is it possibly going to come from?
Love.
So what have you learned so far?
Federer serving big. So Djokovic. The return really hasn't been a factor yet.
Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer are on serve. Arthur Ashe Stadium Court. At a 1 hour rain delay that we're sort of used to at this point in this edition of the US Open.
When Federer's serving so well, he's able to give himself some more kind of range to go after a few more returns. You can see it a couple of times in the previous return game. And on that last return, taking a few chances. Now he's missing them. But remember, because he's holding serve easily, he's able to take a couple of shots and go for that big return. There's that change of pace. We haven't seen that slice backhand yet. This is the first one. And because the points are really short, Djokovic relies on a good, steady, long baseline rally time after time to get a rhythm. It's not given that luxury by Federer. Federer's playing on his own terms right now. Short points, throwing an anti-rhythm at Djokovic. Once again, you're going to start saying, oh, Federer's not returning that well. But this game kind of really works against Djokovic because Djokovic hasn't hit any ground strokes. It's a one shot, two shot. It's a kind of a Pete Sampras type of formula. Big serving and explosive ground game.
I don't think the crowd has decided who they're pulling for yet. I think they're going to wait to see who's down and then maybe pull for him. But so far they've been nothing but respectful for both, starting with the standing ovation when they entered.
I feel an energy in the stadium. You know what I mean? The two heavyweights, two of these guys out here, they understand the moment.
Well, there are all those other matches, and then there's this.
Roger Federer with historic records with Grand Slams won. You have Djokovic with the only 2 losses this season. 2 monuments of the game.
Djokovic is challenging the call on the left near sideline, but was called in.
Djokovic trying to negate an ace. And it was out.
Second service.
Federer is so cool. He lets the ball go. It's out by about 5 or 6 inches. He doesn't even turn around to look.
We just haven't had a long rally yet. Both of them, I mean, I really think this is part of the game plan for Federer. When you talk about a drop shot, you've got to make sure that your opponent's behind the baseline and you're inside the baseline. Look how he comes right up to that ball. Looks like he's about to drive the forehand, and at the last minute, Al, he cups underneath the ball and puts just a touch of backspin on it to pull it back. Djokovic just can't run it down.
It's interesting, even under duress, Djokovic is not trying to just get that drop shot back across the net. He's trying to do it with some decisiveness.
It's another good example. Djokovic wants to get into this long rally. Let's set the table here for a 10-15 ball rally. As soon as Roger gets anything up in his strike zone, he's going for a big shot to the corner. Could be a backhand, could be a forehand. But he can play this way as long as he's serving big. High percentage of first serves in. See, there's an example. Longer rally, hit the ball short. Djokovic turns it on him, basically pounces on that short ball with the backhand. And this is the secret behind his entire game. The backhand down the line. See how he stepped into that one, Al? Very much like what Agassi used to do against his opponents in the 90s. Just take a rally and turn it on his opponent with a big backhand down the line. This time Djokovic behind the baseline, doesn't control it. Marian Vida, the coach, right to the left there. Coach of Djokovic, former ATP Tour player. Played Davis Cup for Slovakia.
For a moment, it felt as though maybe this could be one of those points or games that changes the direction of the set. Not yet. Novak Djokovic has youth on his side, but he and Roger Federer have been so evenly matched. How about this, Luke? In 23 matches, they've played 23 sets of 7-5 or 7-6 tiebreaker.
Again, taking another big shot. That second serve only 87 miles an hour. Middle of the box. Roger's able to run around and rip the forehand. Remember now, because the sets are so close, Al, it's going to come down to defining points. And I mentioned the Pete Sampras play all the time. He wasn't worried about winning all the points. He was just worried about winning the defining points. And this hit and miss style from Federer really puts Djokovic in a tough spot because he gets no rhythm. Everything is really coming down to Federer's racket. He's playing on his terms. Djokovic is defending all the time, having to come up with passing shots and defensive plays.
Well, Roger went for a couple of big points in that game, didn't measure them right, and so we're still on serve. What do you think it was like in the locker room? What a difference from when the tournament starts, right?
When you talk about this part of the tournament, everybody's pretty much gone. You've got 98% of the players and the entourage and the coaches out of that locker room. It's just you and your opponent. That's it. For Djokovic on the return to serve side, he's just got to take small backswings, make good contact, put that return back in play to neutralize the big serve.
Djokovic is not so sure.
Big challenge here, Al.
I thought it was out. What about you?
I'm just going with you now. Anything you say, you're like Djokovic. You've only missed 2 the entire tournament. He's like, you've been on a roll the entire 2-week span. No rain delays are affecting your game. You're spot on. One of the things when you attack Djokovic, you just don't have a weaker side. If you go to his backhand like he does right here, the net court keeps it deep, but look at this passing shot. Just inside the line.
30-all. Roger Federer's coach.
Former top 10 player in the world. Far left, the black hat. He's on the Pete Sampras bag for many years.
Federer challenging the call on the service line, but was called out.
And it's good. So the challenge ends the game, and the serve is still reigning supreme here, 4-3, Federer.
Take your seats, please. Thank you.
Novak Djokovic serving 3-4 on serve. First set, he and Roger Federer in a major semifinal showdown at the Open.
14 love.
Some of the numbers, Luke, I guess we shouldn't be surprised how even it's been. First serve percentage won, Djokovic 100%. Second serve percentage for both players, 75 Djokovic, 89% Federer. We have not had a single break point yet.
That's when those serves go in. The first serve percentage is kind of honestly mediocre. 47% for Djokovic, 55%. That serves in. The returns really get a little shocking, kind of dangerous now for Federer. Not really doing anything with that return, just kind of trying to put it back in play. And I think both players feeling the nerves a little bit. And have to start hitting out with more spin to shake them off. Spin will be the safety. Another missed return.
Had some room to play with there. It's out. A little late on the call, but called out.
That's a neat perspective when you're Roger Federer and you hit this backhand. Watch this. He follows it all the way down the line. He can see that linesman. He's just staring that linesman down. It's like, almost like an old Western gunfight. You see them, they see you, and they call it out on you. And you're just like, oh, come on.
The way this set is going, you almost want to say, just play the tiebreaker. Let's do it.
It's a really nice changeup for Federer. Only 90 miles an hour on the serve, but it had so much kick and bite, Al, that it bounced up over the shoulders of Djokovic. If you look at this replay, it's a kick serve. Look where he has to hit that from. Way outside the doubles alley. This gives Roger so many options with the forehand, this time electing to go against the grain and behind Djokovic. It's a lot of stuff going on right now between the two competitors, between the spins and the tactics.
We just say
big shots.
The average point is about 4 seconds.
Yeah, right now it's really short. And I think it's all by design. I truly believe that Paul Annacone, the coach for Roger Federer, has really kind of looked at this game against Djokovic and said, let's make this kind of a puncher's duel, a power game. And there's an example where if you don't play a delicate and soft drop shot, These athletes are so fast. Look where Djokovic starts out here. You can't see it, but all of a sudden he's on top of that ball just because it's played a little too heavy and hard. You've got to make sure you loosen up the grip on that drop shot to take a little pace off the ball.
It's good. Still on serve in the first set. We continue to ride down the holding serve highway here at the U.S. Open. And right now Novak Djokovic will serve 4-5 in the opening set. This is Al Trautwig along with Luke Jensen. After this, Andy Murray, Rafael Nadal.
Thank you.
Tonight, Angelique Kerber, the 92 seed, against Samantha Stosur of Australia, and Caroline Wozniacki taking on Serena Williams.
Talk about a super Saturday. I mean, normally what they try to do is get the two men's semis and then the women's final at night. I mean, this is even more of a heavyweight card. Kerber from Germany is the only real shocker in there. Everybody else, you think, you know, I could see them in the semis. Stosur was a finalist at the French Open last season. Djokovic really got out of that one. He was in big trouble. Came up to the net, didn't really want to. He was forced up with the slice backhand. Watch this slice right here from Federer. See how it stays low, Al? This way he has to come up. And Roger has every opportunity on this passing shot. Pushes it long.
19 shots in the longest rally of the match so far. Djokovic, instantaneous decision to let that ball go, and it was the right one. Big winner from the baseline, 30 love. Look, it's almost as if serving gives you superpowers.
When you're serving this big and this effectively, you're able to really control the rest of the rally with your second shot. Both of these players have such good, solid balance from both sides. Only Federer has that slight weakness on the backhand side that gives Djokovic the edge from his backhand to the Federer backhand. But everything else, very similar. Go serving and front court game going to Federer, but momentum and confidence kind of neutralized here.
Game Djokovic.
The win for Federer at the French Championships puts a little bit of doubt in the mind of Djokovic and a little bit of confidence in the mind of Federer.
Well, we're getting down to it here in the first set.
And if you're Djokovic, this is where you really turn up the volume on your ground strokes a little bit. Get the return back in play. All of a sudden, just a little bit of a nudge, just redirecting that big serve. Serve 127 miles an hour. And watch where he goes inside out. This is right off his hip pocket. He's not trying to go for a winner here. It ends up to be an outstanding shot, but he's just redirecting the pace out of the middle of the court.
– 126 miles an hour.
If you're Djokovic, you really want to try to get a little bit more depth with your two-hand backhand into Federer's one-hand backhand to get a short ball back to rip it down the line. Move and counter move right now. Djokovic got the combination he wanted. He got that nice shot deep into the backhand of Federer. He got the short ball he wanted, but he couldn't get enough on this backhand down the line. And Roger was able to recover and do something with his forehand to take control of the point. Both players very deliberate with their serve. Take their time.
Roger Federer makes it 6-5 first set. A first set tiebreaker feels like the destiny for Federer and Djokovic, and it's just up to the Serbian now to make that fulfilled. How about this one, Luke? The winner of the first set in the 23 meetings between these two has gone on to win 20 of the 23 times.
How big is this per set?
Come on.
Nice serving from Djokovic. He needed it 122 miles an hour. And this is where Federer really likes to change the tempo. He really likes to really use his forehand, run around the backhand and rip some forehands and take control of the game right here. Try to sneak one past Djokovic. Two big serves. I mean, this set has been a set of basically big serving. Not a lot of high percentage, but when they do go in, the effectiveness has been really the storyline so far here.
So we go
6 games all.
to the twilight zone of the tiebreaker, and we have had a 17-15 tiebreaker at this U.S. Open. We've had a 16-14 tiebreaker, which Novak Djokovic was involved in. And if ever there were two players primed to create something like that, it's these two on this day, isn't it?
Right now, I'm giving the edge to Djokovic. He's returning better. He's hitting cleaner off the backcourt. And your mindset right now truly is you've got an entire set of data to really build off of. Where's your opponent making the air? Roger needs to use his forehand more in this tiebreaker. Djokovic needs to use his two-hand backhand down the line more.
1-0. Federer.
And now you said it right from the top. Who's going to crack first? This is a sprint. This is basically the first to 7 to win by 2, and it's a short little sprint. And who's going to crack first? Who's going to basically hand over the tiebreaker to the other? Could be a double fault, an easy air.
Point like that.
Remember the slice backhand we talked about. He's missed 2 of those now this set off of that slice backhand from Federer because the ball skids and stays low. You cannot drive that ball because you have to get it up and over the net. Down 0-2, Djokovic decides to be even more aggressive with his ground strokes. This passing shot from the bottom of the net just gets on top of it, but now with the mini break, 2-1, Federer is in control.
Now they're even again.
What I don't understand is after getting that easy miss from Djokovic off the slice backhand, why Federer hasn't gone back to that slice backhand to see if he can kind of get another air from Djokovic with the nice slider, the cut shot.
Let's the service.
When I hear the people yelling, I think back to Jack Nicklaus, who was asked after hitting a big putt to win a championship a long time ago, how did that train that went by on the tracks not affect you? And he said, what train?
In the zone. Both players just tuning out everything but the opponent in front of them.
Djokovic puts his hands up as if to say, what just happened?
So here Roger turns this short ball into money right here, ripping that thing down the line. See the hands up in the air. This is where Djokovic has been at his very best when he's down this tournament. That emotional toughness that he has shown over the last 12 months is going to be tested right now.
This is fascinating stuff.
He can't lose this point. Djokovic cannot afford to go down 5-2 mini breaks with the way Roger Federer is serving right now. There's your crack.
That feels like a major crack.
But look at his mental toughness right now. See, just going up to the heavens and just like regrouping. He's down 5-2. He's in a hole right now, but he cannot afford to lose it. He's got to get himself back into this tiebreaker, and it starts with this point, this return.
Please.
We haven't had a double fault in this set until right now, and they come back to back as Federer challenges the call.
Now, if you're Djokovic, what you do is you take this and run with it, because what Roger's telling you is he's nervous too. He's up 5-2 and he's feeling it.
Thank you. 6-4. Federer.
Remember, as Djokovic wins this point, Federer will have to serve back to the same box that he just double faulted in.
It's good.
What a great exchange by both players, throwing lightning bolts all over the place.
For a point to be played like that at that point of the match is so extraordinary. Federer now has a chance to serve for the first set. Djokovic unleashes a gorgeous shot as this tiebreaker goes to overtime.
Now, if you're Roger Federer, the pressure goes back to you because you just squandered 3 straight set points the last one on your serve. It's so important right now for Federer to think about a very good serve. I would go wide to pull Djokovic off the court to create opportunity on the other side. He doesn't want to be looking at a second serve.
I love that Luke is venturing to go in the mind of a master.
Got the combination he wanted, Al. When it comes down to this point in every match, you've got to articulate what's going on. That how am I winning points? How am I losing points? And I want to play a good quality point here.
10 tiebreakers career between these two, and you know what they are? Right down the middle, 5 apiece.
So much intensity and energy right now in this crowd. When you're playing a quick opponent, you've got to look at times to go back to door. You want to go behind your opponent. When you do, sometimes you can catch him flat-footed or moving to the open court, and that's exactly what happens. Notice how Djokovic has to lunge back to his backhand and can't get enough racket on that ball.
It comes down in the end to millimeters in the first set. 7-6 Federer.
He's got, the window isn't as open as it once was, but he can still put it together. He has put himself in a winning position. He had the moments where he could have faltered here after squandering a 6-3 lead in the tiebreaker, but he came around and honestly came up with the big shots at the most important times in that first set tiebreaker. Now the key is to continue to serve well, to pick up his return, and he can really start running away with this match. Djokovic now has got to start thinking about better forehands and incorporating that backhand right there. See that backhand down the line? That's his big boy. That's the one that he's going to go with in critical times. That's going to separate him from the rest for the rest of this match, but he's got to hit it.
Why would it be what we mentioned earlier to be true? That in 20 of the 23 matches that these two have played, the winner of the first set goes on to win the match. It seems if they're so evenly matched, which it seems as though they are, that wouldn't happen. It would be a 50-50 thing, but it's not.
Confidence, tempo, momentum. When it's this close, Al, so much of it is that mental side. You feel dejected. You feel that this guy, whoever won that first set, in this case Federer, just got the first shot in on you. You know what I mean? And what I like for Djokovic, he's now come right back with a good, solid game here on his, on his serve, and that's what it's going to take. Forget about the first set, regroup, and keep moving forward. But Djokovic really needs for Federer to come down on his serving performance. The first serve percentage isn't that high.
It's one of Federer's best winners of the day.
And neutralizing the backhand down the line. This time Djokovic tries to rip this thing down the line, and Federer's there to answer it. It's not really on the line. It's kind of towards the middle, and it gets Djokovic in trouble.
So Djokovic holds serve. Meanwhile, we're joined by viewers across the world. And why don't you join the conversation with us at Facebook/US Open Tennis? Someone by the name of Robert Smariga asks, Luke, have the Big Four ever come into a semifinal playing better as a group?
That's a really good question. I don't remember or recall Djokovic playing so well. Federer has played better in his prime. The way Nadal played against Andy Roddick, man, he put a beat down on the 2003 U.S. Open champion. And then Murray, Murray could be playing a little bit better, a little bit more offensive, but I agree. It's a very good comment. I think the game has never been healthier on the men's side. They have these big three with Murray just trying to get in that big boy locker room by winning his first major somewhere.
Michelle Thomas asks, on a scale of 0 to infinity, how awesome is Roger Federer?
If you're from Switzerland, it's probably infinity. I just think a lot of people have been really taking him out of the mix based on his performance in 2011 because he hasn't won a major yet. I think Djokovic has just been extraordinary and added to the mix with Nadal and Federer, just the big three.
So again, you want to join the conversation? Go to Facebook/US Open Tennis as you continue to watch with us around the world and also at usopen.org. Which, if you are into this event, is an absolute must-stop. Press conferences, the greatest merchandise, the greatest collection of all time, says Luke Jensen.
Absolutely. Towels are the best ever. You got the dry fit stuff now for, you want to go out and play some matches, some active wear that's good. It's not just your cotton tees. Oh, that's a smart ace. At love 15, Federer's taking a tactical gamble here to try to run around his backhand to hit a forehand. And they know each other so well, Al. So Djokovic hits a second serve at 103 miles an hour, which is bigger than the average ATP Tour second serve. Down the tee for an ace. Way to catch Federer cheating a little bit to that backhand side.
You bring up a good point. Since they know each other so well, has either one, as we're going to have a chase review here, done anything to surprise the other?
That was a good example right there, that second serve down to the tee. I really think tactically everything's been normal. I don't think Djokovic has expected Federer to serve so well, to be perfectly honest. So effectively. Federer only 65% of first serves in. But every time he's gotten that first serve in, he's winning 79% of those points. And then on the second serve, he's winning 73% of those points. With the second serve, if you're over 60%, you're winning 60% of your second serve points. You're going to hold so many times. The first serve percentage is not going to be as much of a factor. And here's Federer, the backhand down the line being extremely effective at many key moments throughout this match.
This is a rare break point is what this is. Seemed like such a routine ground stroke.
I'm surprised he's not challenging that because it is such a big point. Slice backhand has been that, I don't want to say a defining shot. Serve has been a factor, but the slice backhand from time to time is really giving Djokovic some trouble.
Well, this is the shakiest service game we've had in the match so far. And it's another break point for Roger Federer.
Bouncing that ball, isn't he? Taking his time.
And Federer puts it behind Novak Djokovic. And it's the first major crack of the second set. Already up 1. Federer 2-1 serving after this changeover. Al Trautwig and Luke Jensen along with you around the world from Arthur Ashe Stadium at the 2011 U.S. Open. We had a slight rain delay earlier today, the first of 4 semifinals on what will be a super Saturday. Roger Federer now. What does he follow up the breakup serve with? Well, a big serve, that's what. I want to remind you that you can join a conversation with us and you. Simply go to facebook.com/US Open Tennis. And post your questions for Luke Jensen. He always has the answer, always. Even when he doesn't.
Roger Federer has really pulled away with his level. This time drawing Djokovic up to the net where he's not as comfortable. Djokovic has to hit the slice approach shot. Federer with the nice dipping pass inside out with the forehand. There were 3 or 4 shots out there that maybe only 3 guys in history can. I mean, this is unbelievable. The short angle followed by the squash shot on the run, 15 feet behind the baseline, and then a pickup, Agassi-like. Oh, the level of play right now is so high from both players.
I mean, don't you love it when a match fulfills your expectation for what it might be?
And now the ground strokes are really getting involved by both players. This another short take back, nice and compact. He stays low and redirects the big power from Federer down the line.
Big point now. If you're Federer, just watch and hope.
Djokovic just being pushed too far behind the baseline, allowing Federer to take control on that short ball. Look at that forehand, just exploding. The long follow through, the balance through the strike zone.
It's called out. And this game goes to deuce.
At what point is Djokovic going to get really discouraged and start to kind of tap out a little bit?
What do you mean tap out?
Well, just remember, emotionally, he's been so good in 2011. He allowed the French Open to kind of slip away. In the semifinals against Federer, he got very emotional, got frustrated, and Federer capitalized. Djokovic is throwing everything at Federer, and Federer has an answer right now. The this would be the point. He gave everything he'd had to try to break back. Came up short.
Now it's 3-1 Federer in the second set. I mentioned that we are having a conversation with you at facebook.com/US Open Tennis, and you can ask questions of Luke Jensen. I mean, I'll try to contribute. But I have a question for you. I'd love to know, where are you watching this feed of the world from? So that's a question for all of you out there. Where are you watching this match?
He's already being affected. You know,
you're right. That's the first time.
I think there's something going on.
Djokovic is being bothered by something that apparently is going on in the crowd. I don't see anything. Do you?
Yeah, at the very top here, Al, if you look up to the very top near the light pole to Djokovic's right, someone has passed out. Someone has passed out. They're looking for, security's now going up there. Heat exhaustion. A lot of people using their fans.
I just call in. They're sending somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, we've sent somebody to help up there. Thank you. Thank you.
I would love to know how. Were they screaming for help, Luke? You think
Whistling.
that's what?
They're whistling. Remember it between the first and second serve.
First serve, yeah. It's up to you. I mean, it shouldn't take long, but the thing is that we don't know what it is, so we might as well just wait a little bit. It's gonna be first serve anyway, yeah? First serve.
Well, they've decided now to finally go on with the match.
Love 15.
Dangerous time for Djokovic right now. Down a set, down a break, has lost the momentum.
Well, he's got a tiebreaker hangover, doesn't he?
We tried like everything possible to break right back.
15 all.
It's so important for him right now to concentrate on this game. Don't worry about the break back yet. Worry about kind of getting your act together, having a good, solid game.
Let's
establish your serve just like you did in the first set.
All good. A little wobbly there, but Djokovic holds. 3-2, second set. Al Trautwig and Luke Jensen. Novak Djokovic had some problems trying to hold serve, but he did as you fly over the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. That's where we are, center screen. The Long Island Railroad and the New York City subway goes right on by. It has turned out to be a gorgeous day after about a 1-hour rain delay. Roger Federer eking out the tiebreaker in the first set.
Take your seats, please. Players are ready.
Love 15. Want to thank you all for checking us out at facebook.com/US Open Tennis. I wanted to know where you're watching from, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. Thailand, Philippines, Barbados, Lagos, Nigeria, Cape Town, South Africa, India, Singapore, Switzerland, Malaysia, Pakistan, Nepal, Egypt. Your thoughts?
I played in a lot of those places. I'm serious.
So these are all friends of yours?
I don't know about that, but tennis is a global game.
We heard from Dennis Ang. I'm watching from Singapore. It's now 2:40 a.m. and I'm loving the match. It's already September 11th here.
There's that backhand down the line. This is the opportunity right now for Djokovic. 15-30 to try to gain some ground here, to make it up, to pull Federer back into the fold. Djokovic is reacting so aggressively to the center of the court, and Federer keeps going behind him, keeps going against the grain, and what happens is he's just hit so many winners that way from the ground and then on that overhead.
A little Federer crack. This is the first break point, is it not, that Djokovic has had on Roger Federer's serve? Wow. And it's out.
3 games over. Second set.
So it's 3-all now. We have someone watching in Johannesburg, Luke. Kuli Mathaba. Where's this vintage Federer been all year? Where's he been?
Al, when you look at Federer's year, I really think the extraordinary play from Djokovic has kind of overshadowed the rest of the field. And then, honestly, everybody's kind of caught up. I mean, he had a 2-sets-to-love lead against Tsonga at Wimbledon, let that go. He lost to Tsonga in Montreal. It's just these weird losses, only because the field is getting better. It's not getting worse. It's more competition. And when a legend like this, Sampras had the problem, all the greats have the problem. When you lose that intimidating factor, when you walk on the court basically on equal terms that your opponent truly believes they're going to beat you, you've lost an edge.
We come to another one of those decisive points. The shoulders of Djokovic droop. He's now been broken again. Oh, excuse me.
Roger Federer is really hitting his spots extremely well, keeping the ball out of the middle, hitting the ball to the sideline, which stretches out the court, puts Djokovic on the defensive.
Triple break point. Roger Federer hit balls at about 9 different miles per hour. Threw in a couple of change-ups. The service break is complete, and he'll be serving up 4-3. The second set not nearly as good for Novak Djokovic as the first. And in that first, he lost the tiebreaker, and it was a nail-biter to Roger Federer. Now off the service break, here's Roger Federer. Packed house, Arthur Ashe Stadium, New York City.
Serving in the sun now. Could be an interesting dynamic.
One of our viewers, Luke, wanted to know how often these two have come to the net. What would you say? It's been a handful for each, right? Not too often.
Yeah, I haven't seen any serve volley. I think Federer, out of the 4 in the semifinals throughout the entire tournament, has come to the net more often than the other 3. That's definitely part of his makeup too. He's always looking to move forward. Djokovic, Nadal, and Murray not as much.
Federer couldn't do much except flail at it, sort of stab it. Sahil Khosla is watching this U.S. Open at the Purdue University Library, trying to get some homework done. There are no TVs in the library, so that means online at usopen.org. Sky TV New Zealand. They've been with us every step of the way. They're with us right to the end of this U.S. Open. It's ace number 4 for Roger Federer.
The serve has really been the difference maker for Roger Federer throughout this match. Now, he lost his serve the last time he stepped up. But the motion is pure. It is just, there's no hitches in it. He doesn't stop the racket. Once he starts it, gains momentum, and then he explodes through the contact point. Incorporates his lower body, shoulder turn, and then a wrist snap. And that's why you haven't seen many approaches by both players. They're both outstanding counterpunchers, but especially Djokovic. If you don't hit an unbelievable approach shot, like this passing shot, look at that, right down the line, he just turns just a little bit and redirects that pace. That's a tough overhead. As that ball's going up and you're tracking it, you see about 22,000 people looking up. As it's going higher and higher, then you see the big screen up there and then the sun in your eyes.
Well, Roger Federer, he's in a different gear right now.
But if you're Djokovic, all you're thinking about, you're only down 1 break. The first set's over. But this is really almost desperation time for Djokovic. You're down a set, you're down a break, and all you've got to think about now is let's hold serve, And let's put the pressure back on Roger Federer, but it starts with taking ownership with your own big serve.
He's having a little issue with his left leg in the Achilles area.
In the quarterfinals against Kasparovic, he went for a shot. Djokovic went for a shot and slid and actually kind of stubbed his big toe and broke the nail on his big toe. Remember, he had to take an injury timeout for that. Had it taped. No way it healed in such a short period of time.
14-15.
The bodies just take a beating on this hard court. Not a lot of give on this surface, and so your joints really take the brutal blow. The knees, the lower back.
Please. Right, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now Roger Federer will serve for the second set to go up 2 sets. The first set so different than the second set, and I think there's a feeling here that there was a carryover from what was an intense tiebreaker in the first set. And now Roger Federer will serve for the second set to go up 2 sets to love.
Now this is a huge moment for both players.
And Federer comes in, and once again, Luke, he doesn't even turn around. He's so sure that ball is going out.
He has such a good feel for the court where he is and the velocity of shot, if it's going to drop in or not. But Djokovic really, with his back against the wall here, cannot afford to go down 2 sets to love.
Djokovic, who's gone to the baseball cap now, maybe bothered by the sun, definitely bothered by Federer.
There could just be a huge momentum swing depending on who wins this game. If Roger pulls this thing out, 2 sets to love, lots of momentum going into the third.
sounds like the crowd is pulling for Federer.
It sure does, doesn't it? I mean, he hasn't won a major this year. The perception is he's really kind of on the backside of his career.
And that's it. Federer goes up 2 sets to love.
Tennis is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
And Paul Birdseye, we think you're right. The crowd is definitely pulling for the Fed man.
Take any seats, especially behind the players. Thank you.
The third set begins with an ace from Novak Djokovic. Now, Luke, get me inside the head of a tennis player when you're down 2 sets. What is Novak Djokovic thinking about? His chances.
You can't think big picture. If you do, you just get too depressed. My first U.S. Open main draw, I was down 2 sets to love to Matt Mitchell, who'd won the NC2As for Stanford, and he was an established pro on the tour. And I was honestly just reeling, and I was very fortunate just to kind of work the first game, then the second game. You're not worried about coming back in the match just yet. For Djokovic, he's got to think about this set. This is it. You can't think about the 4th or the 5th. You've got to somehow redirect a lot of your weapons into the positive, and it starts with your mindset, what's in between the ears. And to be honest, he's got to return better. If he doesn't return, he's going to be out of this match in 3 straight sets. Now Federer is another mindset, because he basically has a 2 sets to love lead, and he can play like it. He can play aggressive. He can make a few more errors, but he has a chance right now to really bury this guy Djokovic. If he goes after his ground strokes, makes a few returns, and keeps serving big, he's going to be out of here in about 25 minutes.
How surprised are you that this match has gone this way?
I'm really surprised. I really thought we were going to see, and we still may see, a 5-set thriller. But I can't believe how well the Federer serve has done against the great returns of Djokovic. Djokovic, his #1 asset is his forehand and backhand return, his ability to scramble and defend.
Second seconds.
If there is going to be a comeback, you never know which point is the one that starts it. It could be that one.
Federer is just relentless right now. He gives you just kind of an inkling that he's going to double fault, give you some unforced errors, and then he comes back with a beautiful forehand like that cross court we just saw.
Luke, here's Melanie Oudin about the mixed doubles U.S. Open title. It's pretty cool. We just can't believe that we actually won a Grand Slam.
So happy for her. She's really had some tough times the last couple of years since her big moment here, reaching the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open main draw.
Roger Federer had a huge, juicy bounce to deal with. And now it's 30-all.
He's going to walk off this court if he wins this match in straight sets and say the serve was the big difference. I mean, he's come up with so many big unreturnables. Not a lot of aces, only 4 for the match. But his ability to really neutralize the game of Djokovic with that one swing every time he sets up. Thanks for coming. 125 miles an hour right on the tee.
Luke, don't you think in a match like this you have to be really careful when you start talking about unforced errors, because each of these players are so good that when you make a mistake, it's almost as if every one of those errors was forced because of how good your opponent was.
I totally understand. I mean, it's the person, making those, making the decision of the winner, unforced error, forced error. That would be an unforced error. But here, this is a very interesting game because Djokovic is really trying to get an early break to get some momentum rolling here in the third set. Whereas Roger really wants to hold here. He can't seem to put 2 good points together. He's been owning the first court and fumbling on the second court. That serve was at 97 miles an hour, but Djokovic with a nice lunge. Look how he flicks this thing cross court. Nice wrist snap, and it's out to the sideline. This is his strength right here when he's able to direct these returns to the sideline. Now opportunity at break point. .78 miles an hour second serve, but it wasn't about the speed. It was about the kick, the spin. Look at this. Djokovic having to really get up and get after it. He has to reach outside the doubles alley. Misses that return. Just doesn't move his feet into position, doesn't recognize the change of pace.
Somehow Djokovic's return of serve stayed in, and it's another break point.
I just get the feeling that Djokovic is starting to win a few more ground stroke rallies, starting to get on to Federer's serve just a little bit, and Fed just isn't connecting on the first. That's 2 second serve return missed. Second serve this time, 87 miles an hour.
third time, Djokovic tries to get to the mountaintop of this set. These two are playing like this is a huge point, which tells you that it is. Only the second game of the third set. Back-to-back errors, forced or otherwise, by Roger Federer. And a service break gives Djokovic a 2-love lead here in the third.
And now here's the dynamic. New balls now for Djokovic serving. So that means the serve will be a little bit quicker. That ball will carry through the air a little bit quicker. Federer's going to a freshly strung racket. This means he's going to have a little bit more control.
6 quickly, please. Thank you.
Now, Talal Adas, Luke, wants to know, why does Djokovic bounce the ball so often by hand and by racket before he serves?
It's just his ritual. So many times that a player kind of, I used to bounce the ball 3 times and fire away.
15.
Djokovic, that's, and the bigger the point, the more times he bounces the ball. He wants to take his time. He wants to be extremely deliberate. I believe you should be only allowed 5 max to serve it, because I don't think it's fair to the other person trying to return to sit in that waiting position, hunched over, waiting for the serve. 5 bounces and you're out.
It's good.
15.
Then the chair umpire would have to count the bounces all the time.
That's fine.
It's 20 seconds, right? I mean,
well, that's in between points. I mean, but that's really flexible. It's really not. Most of the players go over that 20 seconds.
Federer has started to make some mistakes here in the third set. First of 4 semifinals in what is another Super Saturday at the U.S. Open.
Getting really sloppy for Federer right now.
Djokovic leads 3 games to love. That's it.
Novak Djokovic now having his way for the first time in the match. Viewer in Malaysia said he's going to be in the U.S. Open as a player in 2012.
Like that confidence. Serve big, hit big forehands, and believe.
6 please. Thank you.
On we go in what has turned out to be a gorgeous day in New York City. In Flushing Meadows, a huge Saturday at the U.S. Open. This is Al Troutwig along with Luke Jensen. We're watching Roger Federer serving love 3 in the third set. Wow, huge momentum carryover from the tiebreaker into the second set, and now another flip favoring Djokovic. Just not used to seeing Roger Federer make this many unforced errors.
Well, just out of nowhere. And to be honest, as soon as he lost his serve to go down 2-0, he hasn't been the same player. I mean, there were fighting back and forth for that game. The second game to the third set. And Roger's first serve percentage just kind of went away. For the set, he's serving 44% first serves in. For the match, 63% first serves in. And one really big statistic on Roger's second serve. I know that it is still early pretty much in the third set. He's only winning 30% of those points when he gets his second serve in. Got to really be able to back up that second serve with some good ground strokes.
Well, Luke, by your rule, behind the baseline he was.
14-13.
It's an interesting play down 40-15 to pull out the drop shot.
Just past 2 hours in the match.
Another difficult game for Roger Federer on his serve. Body language very positive for Novak Djokovic right now. He sure doesn't look like a player down 2 sets to love. It's a tough hold after squandering a 40-15 lead. He toughs it out to get on the board here in the third.
Break points have been so rare. Djokovic has seen 4 of them. Federer has seen 4 of them.
Federer now setting things up with the slice backhand, knowing he's losing a lot of ground stroke points now. He goes to the slice a few times and all of a sudden gets the ball he wants here. And he rips a forehand. That's a very difficult shot to play from so far behind the baseline, middle of the court. See how he winds up and rotates his shoulders in? Beautiful forehand.
the right center service line. Ball was called in.
Yeah, Federer is staring at the mark and walking back to the spot where he would receive another look at this serve. He seems pretty sure, and it is out.
Second service.
Roger's got to play so much more aggressive. You would think Djokovic is up. The way he's playing from the ground, 2 sets to love. It's hard to believe why Roger is playing so far back behind the baseline and so soft with his ground strokes. Play to win. You are up 2 sets to love. Look at this guy. He is jacked up.
I don't think he had a shot like that in the entire second set.
Another big forehand.
Djokovic is all pumped up. His comeback is underway. 4-1, third set. Back in New York City, and you are flying high over to the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. And let's see, that is LaGuardia Airport to the left, and some sort of a boat race going on in
the Zambonis that
Flushing Bay
tried off the court.
They were in a hurry. The first set was unbelievable. Holding serve was absolutely paramount. We went to the tiebreaker. It went to overtime. Federer won it. In the second set, Djokovic got in some early trouble. Federer went on and took it 6-4. But in this third set, Roger Federer has been piling up the errors, and Novak Djokovic has taken advantage.
Djokovic is just being more aggressive, to be perfectly honest. And normally, if you're behind, you play more conservative. Djokovic is elected to go the opposite, decided to really stick it to the Swiss #1, and Federer really has been defensive throughout this third set. Serve and volley, a little mix-up for Roger Federer. That's the first attempt today.
What's your gut feeling right now? Where's this going?
Well, I can't believe Djokovic is going to lose this set at this point, the way he's playing. But the way Federer played that last service game tells me he's kind of zoned back into his ground stroke game. He's going to make a move here. He's down a break. Federer is down a break 4-2. But look for him to try to capitalize on some second serve returns and to rip his backhand down the line. That was a good formula earlier in the match.
At some point along here, Luke, if you're Roger Federer and you're planning on winning this match, you either have to start building a turnaround in this set or building some sort of a foundation for a turnaround of your own in the next set.
I'm not sure why Federer wouldn't just, after making the return, start going for more to try to put Djokovic on the defensive. He's allowing Djokovic to dictate from both sides. Rogers stretching there, stretching with that backhand. It was a good return, but Djokovic really clicking with his ground strokes right now, especially off of his second shot.
Djokovic has full intentions of pushing this to a limit. Novak Djokovic up 5-2 in the third set. Roger Federer taking the tiebreaker, and the second set then 6-4. But there's been a major flip in the momentum of this match.
The weight of shot from Djokovic is just so much heavier now than it was for the first two sets. He's really out hitting Roger Federer, and Federer just seems to be on his heels a little bit, playing defense almost right from the first shot. He gets his serve in and then he's defending. Not that time. He was able to take that on the short hop and rip it cross court.
Do you ever think fatigue when you're watching these two?
No, not these guys. Especially as Djokovic has really committed to his diet over the last 12 months, his physical fitness.
It's a big shot he's trying to hit from 10 feet off the baseline.
Djokovic has just got in his mind that he's going to take every shot he has and rip it as hard as he can, almost like he's going for a winner every single time.
Well, maybe Roger Federer can take something out of that in terms of serving confidence to carry over to the fourth set. Worst case scenario, Djokovic holds here and he starts off feeling that way about his serve in the fourth set.
One of the things Federer could use right now is going back to that slice backhand and kind of knife it and keep it low so Djokovic can't tee off. That's a very defensive forehand from Roger Federer. Talking about balancing Djokovic, he's hit for the match 8 backhand winners. Sorry, 8 forehand winners, 9 backhand winners. Federer, 14 forehand winners, only 1 backhand winner. More of a possession shot than an aggressive shot. You've seen him hit aggressively down the line. The crowd is really into it now, Al. The level of play is just out of this world. Both players just hitting laser beams.
I always wonder at what point do players concede sets, and I don't think anybody's conceding anything here. Do you?
Well, Roger doesn't want to go 4. I mean, he wants to honestly try to get out of here right now. He wants to break right now. Put more pressure on Djokovic. Look at, he looks a little gassed, doesn't he? I mean, he really put everything into this 3rd set. He's in great shape, but remember, it's just a slight, just little differences right here at 15-30 are going to make a big difference in this game.
This is one of those big points.
Nice serve, 121 miles an hour. Well placed. Marian Vajda, coach of Djokovic.
Djokovic made so sure.
That was a great approach shot right on the baseline. Federer kind of stares down that approach shot, how close it was, didn't challenge.
Set point, and the crowd wants as much tennis as it can get. He's officially back into it now. 2-1, Federer. We go to the 4th set. Roger Federer, the number 3 seed. Novak Djokovic, the number 1 seed.
Take your seats, please.
Player in the world.
4th set.
Roger Federer's going to have to flip that switch again here, but what does he do to do it?
Well, first it starts with the serve. I thought he served.
Thank you.
Serves in the 3rd set. Honestly, got in trouble, long service games.
start here.
It's got to start. He's got to come out. As we see the shadows just starting to creep across this. Something on that side and just working on that weaker wing. We pointed out earlier, only one backhand winner from Federer the entire match, 14 from the forehand side.
Do you want to challenge? Yeah. Do you want to challenge? Yeah. Djokovic is challenging the call, the left near set line. What was called out? Very close, very close.
See, it is on the line.
Replay the points. Love 15.
Down the line, and that may turn things around for him. The confidence is take that ball early, extend it down the line, hold his ground just inside the baseline.
It's only the second backhand winner of the match.
15-13.
He wasn't going for a winner there, he just trying to put it back in play. Djokovic is making so many returns.
First game, fourth set.
Federer in a serious predicament here.
Looks tired.
I mean, yeah, that's why I asked you before about fatigue.
I honestly think looks a half a step slow. If you look at that, these are just from the third set. 12 unforced errors to a 5 from Djokovic, and Djokovic was the aggressive player in that set. It's really evident to me that the level of Federer has really dropped off, and he can't seem to physically stay with Djokovic. He's honestly like he's doing jumping jacks out there. He's the fresher of the two players.
That's a big key thing. He doesn't really do that.
He's having a lot of problem on that side. Lots of timing issues. Right to the slice. And then Djokovic turns it basically into a sideline-to-sideline battle.
This is a great sequence of how to construct the point, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Find the sideline.
30 love.
Very slow Roger Federer to get that return. Serve 2 miles an hour. Laboring to get out there. It's a good look at the Arthur Ashe Tennis Center, that little glass portion of the stadium. That's the connector between the players' lounge to the left on that level, the players' restaurant on the right. Locker rooms right below that area.
That is the players' entrance there at the bottom of where you're talking. About 25,000 people here at Arthur Ashe Stadium court. Step toward that ball.
Reminds me of the Andy Roddick match yesterday. He was just watching the ball go by. Andy Roddick just did not have the wheels and the stamina to get out to the shots that Nadal was throwing at him.
Something going with his backhand.
Question from Roger Federer. Little serve and volley action. 98 miles an hour on the serve. But what was the big factor was a split step on this hip volley that basically forced the air. For Federer, these easy holds, if he can just close this out here, just keeps him in the ball game, even though he's down a break. He stays close to Djokovic.
That was a pretty convincing hold. So now, in the fourth set, Djokovic serving up a break. Crowd is chanting, I think, let's go Roger. Djokovic to serve 2-1 fourth set.
Thank you. Quiet, please. Thank you. 50.
Roger, and you are starting to feel fatigued a little bit. You're in that kind of red zone, getting overheated. You got to start thinking about energy management, where you are with the score, where the match is, how much you have left. Can you afford to really get after this fourth set to put enough into the fifth? The serve's big enough to keep the points short.
He's just not hitting winners.
He's not hitting winners, he's not putting the ball in play. He's not getting to a lot of balls on balance.
Game. Djokovic.
So he's going to have to really start thinking about, okay,
Djokovic leads 3 games to 1. Fourth set.
Within striking distance and just see if I can sneak out a break and get even. He's got some room to think about because he's up 2 sets to 1. level is so high right now. He's got to be very careful not to give a lot of easy points to Federer and let him try to get a second win. And that's what Federer's really trying to do, is see when to get that spark back as he looks flat. Well, he didn't move out of the way for that. The ball just on him. Just sliced it through the net.
Let's service.
Very tough. It was going to come down the Roger Federer serve versus the Djokovic return serve.
'Serve in, but it didn't come in like a weapon, did it? And another service break as Djokovic up 4-1. What has happened to Roger Federer here in New York City happened so suddenly. The second set was over and bang. Whatever he had working was gone. And Novak Djokovic
sits, please, behind the players.
Took advantage of it. And now he is up 4-1 in the fourth, bidding to send us to the limit to a fifth set.
He's got to be very careful here because he's got to at least make it a 6-2 set, which means he'll start out serving first in the fifth set. Get the nose out front and make sure that Djokovic is trying to serve even. Good about his game, and he can open this up. And this is what I talk about, playing like you have the lead. Djokovic has a 4-1 two-break lead in the fourth set. Clearly he has the momentum. Clearly he sees that his opponent is tired and not scrambling for balls and not setting up.
That first set was so intense that it sucked a lot of life out of these guys. Djokovic lucky enough to take the entire second set to get his second win. And maybe Federer's just paying for that first set now.
This is a huge game for Roger Federer. Roger said before this tournament, this surface, this court was playing slower than at any other time he'd ever played. For some reason, it's gotten a little slower, and that was something that was going to work against him. And he needed the quicker court to help his serve, to help his ground strokes. The slower court helped Djokovic, Murray, and Nadal.
Federer. And down to very one-sided sets.
Needs this game. If he's going to compete, honestly, he just cannot afford to allow Djokovic just to run away with sets 3 and 4 like a steamroller.
Roger Federer is up to 43 on forced errors. That's unbelievable.
31 winners. Djokovic 33 winners. 6 on 40 errors. You have to do a number of things. You can serve and volley first or second serve. Keep the point short. Change the dynamic. He's not winning ground stroke points.
50.
It's honestly batting practice from the batting cage for Djokovic. Novak Djokovic just sits on his backhand down the line. Look how he sets up and he explodes. And Roger doesn't even make a move for it. Sets up for this, it seems easy. Upright, there's no knee bend, and then he's reaching for it. And sit on those ground strokes with a little knee bend. Set up with a nice serve, only 79 miles an hour, but the kick has been very effective throughout this match from time to time. Energy management. Have to execute a good first serve, second shot combination. Hold here. That's an interesting shot selection. You hit 2 nice winners. Second serve, that serve is 106 miles an hour. But the drop shot, when he could have just hit a winner down line or cross court. Djokovic looks fresh. Federer looks worn down.
Roger Federer had match points against Novak Djokovic. They played only 5 seconds of their career here at the US Open last year.
Federer challenging the call. The right baseline. Ball was called in. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Djokovic. This is a wily veteran play. He gets in the position, he waits for Djokovic to make his move. Watch this now. Keep your eye on Djokovic. As soon as he moves, Roger then sees it and goes the other way. What players can't do that? Can't do it. Well,
Djokovic leads 5-2.
Full set may be lost, but Federer plays through it. 5-2 Djokovic serving for the set. Roger Federer looking like he's trying to get himself rejuvenated, jumping around just a little bit. Here's Novak Djokovic serving for the second, force of fifth set. Second consecutive year at the U.S. Open between these two. A little after 4 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States.
15-2.
Roger really doesn't want to win this game. We're talking about energy management.
Why did he compete so hard last night?
Because he wants to hold serve. So he starts out serving first and fifth. He's down 2 breaks. If he's down only 1 break, it'd be worth it. Just as flat right now. He's not moving himself in the position. Because he puts a lot of energy into breaking here, then he's going to have to put it into holding. To make a run here is too far gone here. Down 2 breaks. Put the energy into That's the throw away. And listen, that's okay. He's not worried about winning this game. He's worried about winning the match. He's putting everything in that fifth set. He just needs time for his legs to come back to get that second win.
It's ironic we have the 20th anniversary of the Connors run in '91 when he reached the semifinals, 39 years old, right? You get a lot of that energy management. You get out to a set and then you win it and then have to pull back and just conserve his energy and play important spots. This time he sets up for the forehand a lot better, moves forward, and then he drives into the ball. Not a lot of spin on that one. Left service.
Novak Djokovic.
Serve from Djokovic.
So now serving for the set.
Six games to 2.
Novak Djokovic taking this match in his direction, 6-3, 6-2. That represents arguably the greatest player who's ever played the game. And as we all know, time is not on his side nor anyone else's. He's going straight to the bottom of his soul in this first set to try to reestablish
Djokovic cannot be making that unforced error. You want to make Roger Federer put ball after ball, put it on the run. That's been the formula for the last 2 sets. For Roger, you've got to get the backhand cooking. You've got to spurt with the serve and the forehand. Just keep battling. Djokovic is honestly pulled off of his aggressive ground stroke for some reason. Allowing Roger Federer to kind of get his groove back.
Novak Djokovic used up to win those 2 sets.
If you look at the 4th set statistics, look at first serve percentage. Wow, 80% for Djokovic, 64% for Fed. But look at the unforced errors, 12-2. Djokovic, and now the fans, they're coming alive. They are really into it now. Federer, you really want to make a run while Djokovic seems to be on his heels a little bit. Taking a little bit of a breather. Sense this is an opponent. You feel it. They're not that far apart. Rarely does he take a practice. Just not doing it off that backhand side. And he does this by taking one step over to the backhand, see how the ball's up, he catches it right in the strike zone, hits his target. Watch how he leaps up into this ball. Oh, just the classic head forward.
It's the one near to the corner, yeah? Federer on the service line. What was called in?
Sorry? He called me 250.
Good challenge by Roger Federer.
Second service.
Really getting animated in between shots.
One game over. Final set.
Easy pickings for Djokovic. The tactical wrinkle for Federer.
Sit quickly, please. Thank you.
Turn up serve, and the answer by Federer.
15 love.
The crowd going crazy after the point. This set is really cooking up. Both players lifting their shots to another level. Ago. It was just fireworks back and forth.
Then Federer. New box please.
Federer looks like he has some energy.
2 games to 1. Final set.
This is a semi-final matchup. Thank you. Straight here between these two at the US Open. Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic. Djokovic
Yes.
Dangerous strike. And a little bit of turbulence now for Djokovic. Watch how he steps around again. Didn't go anywhere. This is inside in. He had the inside out sitting there also.
Thank you, Susan. How big a point this is.
Exactly, the length of shot, and that's been a key aspect of the big run in 2011 for Djokovic, his ability to keep the ball deep on both wings, forehand and backhand. There we go. Tricky point for Djokovic because Federer mishit the slice on the return and turned to kind of a messy point, and Djokovic was able to clean it up and overhead. Today, these individual matches that are following after this one, you knew this was the type of play you were going to see. Scramble, volley, passing shot.
Thank you, players are ready. Thank you.
This is like the first set. Service games were treated like gold.
One thing to remember, that this is the only slam of the four that they played a tiebreaker if it goes to 6-all. In the 5th set. Every other major they played out. Djokovic is up for it, rips the return kick in the corner. Big point right here for Roger Federer. Combination, serving wide and then ripping the forehand down the line. That was really go-to play. Time and time again, when he's winning, that thing is flipping.
Novak Djokovic's serve.
Final set.
Two of the game's best players.
Take your seats, please. Thank you.
With Luke Jensen and Al Troutman, 5th set.
Seats very quickly, please.
First two tightly went to Roger Federer. Sets 3 and 4, pretty much dominated by Novak Djokovic. Roger Federer has some energy here in the 5th set. Djokovic has just been really cruising along too. Djokovic took Roger off the hook by hitting the ball right at him.
Somebody's going to crack him, and tiebreaker Djokovic did. And I just get the same feeling now. This is so tight. Both players are playing at such a high level. You feel the tension. The crowd feels the tension. Somebody is going to slip up. It's going to cost him this match. First time in about 3 sets, Roger started with wins groundstroke points by dictating with the forehand side. We've seen a number of times in the 5th set.
Games on. Final set.
Djokovic hits it. That's where the rubber meets the road right here. Almost 7th game, the whole momentum trying. Comes down to Roger Federer's ability to get the first serve going.
Thank you.
Final serve, 4-3, Federer in the 5th. It's a match that feels like it's about to go.
Thank you. Players are ready. Quiet, please.
At the U.S. Open in the 5th set. Djokovic 3-4.
Takes it right on the rise and puts that ball with a lot of toss and gets underneath that ball off his back foot.
That is pretty cool. Two sportsmen battling it out.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. you.
That Djokovic is going to fall off the pace, and now we have an unbelievable dynamic right now between the serve and the pace.
Thank you. Thank you. Please.
Does not want to hit any balls in the Federer forehand right now. The attacker, Federer, the defender, Djokovic. Anticipate something here, Al. If he doesn't, he's going to get ace.
Please.
He has hit an emotional, physical wall. Roger Federer has double match point. Some great little things that you like to hear about matches like this.
Thank you. Practice. 14-14.
That was good. That was good.
Some of that crowd for him.
This was going up.
Quiet, please.
Facing Roger Federer, match point. You had a forehand winner on the first one, and then you battle to get the return back.
Thank you.
Attitude is everything. Right here for both players.
Thank you. Federer leads 5 games to 4, final set. Federer has 2 challenges remaining. Time. Thank you for your
Novak Djokovic just keeps pounding the Federer backhand and getting points from it. Just pulling off. Gets that body, pulls off of it, instead of leaning into it. Help drive the ball through the court instead of float it long. Federer, he really
Thank you.
needs to think about this point. Points of history, we're done.
Thank you.
Djokovic serving for the match to go to the final.
Doesn't move his feet into position, just kind of lazy. That's as easy as you're going to get at 90 miles an hour in the second serve. Desperate times.
Thank you, Brian Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, Novak Djokovic.
He was smiling when he was down. He wanted the pressure, and it reminds me so much about Martina Navratilova. She was on that amazing run, and she said, I just forgot how to lose.
They just told me no interview, Roger.
Avenge a French Open loss to Roger Federer. This guy, Djokovic, has just forgotten how to lose.
And New York five-time U.S. Open champion, Roger Federer.
He's going to have to be satisfied with 5 U.S. Opens for now. He had his match points.
The last 3 years, match points, the matches he lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay right here for an encore interview with Novak Djokovic.
Thanks, Dick. Novak, unbelievable comeback, 2 years in a row, 2 match points down. How on earth were you able to win again this year against Roger?
Well, it was definitely the biggest win of this year. One of the biggest wins of the career. Under the circumstances, I was 2 sets down. Roger was in the control, he was playing better. And then, you know, I switched gears and I managed to play much better in 3 sets.
Can you describe what you were thinking on the first match point before you blasted that forehand return?
If it comes in, it comes in. It's a risk. You know, it was last year, very similar situation. He was 2 match points up. And, you know, I was hitting a forehand as hard as I can. And you know, you're gambling. If it's out, you're lost. If it's in, you maybe have a chance. So I was lucky today.
And it seemed like the crowd, you got a little bit on your side after you hit that return. Did you feel a little bit of a shift?
Well, the crowd was great. I mean, it was very loud and look, this is the biggest stadium we have in our sport, and this Grand Slam US Open is special because of noise there is on the center court, and it's great. Thank you.
What does it mean now to be in your 3rd US Open final, potentially? You have Nadal, you have Andy Murray, you've played both of them.
Yeah, well, I know both of the players. I'm going to sit in the chair and enjoy their match. Hopefully they're going to play as long as we did. And I don't know. I mean, both of them, they're fantastic players. And, you know, whoever I play is going to be final. It's very unpredictable. And hopefully we can have another exciting match.
Do you have any energy left to do a little dance for the crowd?
I don't know. I'll dance if everybody dances with me on the stadium.
I think you're going to get a big response from that. Let's see it.
Okay, thank you.
Back up to you, Dick.